in defense of the West and individualism and everything else, I thought there's no one better that we could throw to than Jordan Peterson. And Jordan had a bit of an odd week because currently he is suspended on Twitter for saying something about Ellen or Elliot Page, whatever you want to call it, her, him, whatever. And then, which probably just got me booted. I had a good run though. You know, I feel like getting booted on the July 4th weekend is sort of right. So I want to throw to a clip of Jordan, but not only did that happen that he got suspended, but he also announced a massive partnership with the Daily Wire. But here's Jordan on individualism and the West.
The fundamental assumptions of Western civilization are valid. How about that? You know, it's not... You think it's an accident? Oh, here's how you find out, okay? Which countries do people want to move away from? Hey, not ours. Which countries do people want to move to? Ours. Guess what? They work better. And it's not because we went around the world stealing everything we could get our hands on. It's because we got certain fundamental assumptions right. Thank God for that. After thousands and thousands of years of trying. And because of that, we've managed to establish a set of civilizations that are shining lights in the world. We actually value the individual, right? The individual has intrinsic value in Western societies. Do you know how long it took people to formulate that as an idea? And how unlikely that idea is that poor you, you know, useless, powerless you, with all your damn faults, you're actually worth something. You're worth something to the point that the law has to respect you. God, we don't want to abandon that for some half-witted collectivism, which we're doing as rapidly as possible, because one of the things that characterizes the radical left types is they don't give a damn about you as an individual or about individuals at all.
Man, every time I think I'm a halfway decent broadcaster or a sort of maybe okay guy to communicate some ideas, you just watch a little Jordan and it'll put you in your place. Spencer, this is sort of your specialty. I mean, man, he got it right there. We have churned through a lot of bad ideas, a lot of bloodshed, and a lot of pain to get where we're at right now, and we could be on the precipice of giving it away.
Sure enough. Well, you know, you talk about those fundamental assumptions of Western civilization. And, you know, as much as I'm a patriot, as much as I am an American who loves his country, one of the things that makes me love the country so deeply is that those fundamental assumptions in the Declaration represent the jewel, you know, the fruit of hundreds and hundreds of years of Western striving and thought. You know, the idea that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with the inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When the Declaration says that these truths are self-evident, people think that means that they just fall from the sky. Oh, it's just common sense. You know, everybody thinks this. But this is not true. It's not the case, as Peterson is pointing out there. You know, this is a rare thing, and it took a long time to figure it out. Good civilizations, high and mighty civilizations in the past, did not believe this. Sparta left babies to die if they weren't strong enough. You know, Aztec human sacrifice, very much a thing. And even still today, you've seen people in China under the one-child policy just abandoning babies that were unwanted, that didn't fit the needs of the state, that were economically inconvenient. The human heart, man, is full of evil, and to guard against that, we need these fundamental truths. They're incredibly precious, and we can never take them for granted. We have to understand that they come as a kind of island, you know, in a sea, a howling wasteland of human darkness, and to protect that, you know, against the folks who are now, as you say, you know, bringing up exactly the same alternatives. They present themselves as charging forth into this bright, glorious new future. They're just pagans. I mean, you look at what's happening with Dobbs. You know, now there are going to be states that will, you know, politicians that will stand there and advocate for babies to be aborted like up to 2 weeks after birth. You know, I'm not even exaggerating. Yeah. I read articles in journals of medical ethics and philosophy of science that argue for something called post-birth abortion, otherwise known as infanticide. Yep. And you know, you look at this and you think it's some sort of shocking horror. It's not. It's just the state of the human heart without the protections that we enshrined in our Declaration and our Constitution. And you know what? Like, we get into this defensive crouch sometimes because they call us racist, they call us nasty, and we just try to fight for the bare minimum. Oh, we're not racist, we're not nasty, we're okay. That's not enough. We're good, man. We're the best. We're the best that's ever been, and we ought to preserve this country because it's worth it.
Not bad. Not bad, dude. You can come back. Chris,
hey, all right.
Chris, is the real point that Spencer's making there that nothing is self-evident anymore? That the things that you're always fighting with people about and trying to expose at at Disney or at our schools that boys are not girls, that there is a difference between being racist and non-racist, all of this stuff. We don't take anything for obvious anymore. There's nothing real anymore.
Yeah, that's right. And we shouldn't take anything for granted. You've seen it just even with the economy in very simple kitchen table terms. The economy doesn't run itself. It's actually an incredible accomplishment to have clean water, plentiful electricity, a large, comfortable home, a car or maybe 2 cars in the garage. These are not natural conditions. These only exist in a very tiny sliver of human history for a very tiny sliver of human beings. And it was all invented and sustained here. And so everything from our system of government to our economic way of life to our faith and traditions, these things need to be fought for and renewed. And I think in some ways what makes me optimistic about these fights that we're having, like with Mark Lamont Hill or with Ibram Kendi or with the kind of crazy gender people, is that we're returning to the fundamental questions. And I think if we can re-answer these fundamental questions, which we've really not had to answer in recent years because we'd taken them for granted, we can maybe get to that point of renewing those more fundamental pillars of our society. And so that's really the task that we have up for us today. We're not debating about 20% versus 28% tax rates. We're not debating those technical terms. We have to go to the philosophical roots of our situation, our condition, our country. And I think that we have to have good answers, just like Jordan Peterson does, in order to win.